Fox News alert for you now. There are disturbing developments in Sochi as Russia prepares to welcome the world, including thousands of Americans, to the Winter Games there. Russian security forces on the hunt for at least 3 potential suicide bombers, so-called Black Widows. One of whom, who you see there, has reportedly already slipped through the layers of heavy security and is already in the Olympic city. Mike Baker is a former CIA covert operations officer. He's also president of Diligence, a global intelligence and security firm. Mike, great to see you. So they call these women Black Widows. This one that we just showed on the screen, her husband was killed by Russian security forces. He was a jihadist. And so the thinking is that she will avenge that death by going to Sochi and doing something terrible. You have been in this business for a long time. In a city the size of Sochi, where do you begin to look for a woman like that?
Well, I mean, part of the problem is they've pushed out the security perimeter for the Olympic zone. It's now some 60 miles long and 25 miles wide. That's this ring of steel that Putin has been talking about. And they've dumped some 36,000 personnel, Russian personnel, into that zone, and they put into place, extraordinary security measures. The problem is that they're dealing with a highly motivated Islamic fundamentalist insurgency that's been a brutal campaign for years and years and years and years. Where they're talking about Chechnya, Dagestan, and it's in the backyard of the Olympics now. So where do you start? Well, you do what they're doing, and you work. I mean, we've been talking recently about the lack of cooperation. Look, there is some cooperation that goes on behind the scenes between the intel services, law enforcement, et cetera. So it's not like there's no cooperation between the U.S., the British, and others, and the Russian services. But frankly, it's not an open book. Russia's never been an open book. They've staked their national pride on this. It's very difficult for them to turn around now and say, look, we need all the help we can get to secure this Olympic zone.
But Mike, this ring of steel, as you're talking about, as we understand it, is 1,500 square mile or circular miles. How can they police every corner of that?
Well, you basically can. I mean, you're talking about, the coastal area, mountains, forest, the Olympic area itself. You're talking about a vast space. They're using drones. They're using maritime assets, a lot of personnel, CCTVs. They're doing everything they can to throw at this. But anybody who's worked in counterterrorism knows that you never reduce the risk down to zero. It's never going to happen, particularly when you've got this well-established, long-standing, highly motivated Islamic insurgency operating, again, in their backyard.
So, Mike, very quickly, do you believe that the Russians have this under control or not?
No, I don't believe they have it under control. I believe what we're seeing in terms of the 3 or so Black Widow suspects that they're looking for right now, that's the tip of the iceberg. We're not getting all the information about their active threats and the operations that they're conducting right now. So I don't believe they have it under control. They're doing the best they can. Putin, again, has his the national pride on the line, his own reputation on the line. So he's doing everything he can to make this happen, but he's facing a very difficult high-threat environment.
All right, Mike Baker, with that chilling assessment, thank you.
Thank you.